The college football landscape nowadays is completely broken. Problem is, there may not be a way to fix it, and Indiana could be on the wrong side of it when it's all said and done.
You are Locked On Hoosiers, your daily podcast on the Indiana Hoosiers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into this, the Locked On Hoosiers podcast. I'm your man, Jacob Goins. I appreciate you being here, making this your first listen or your first watch every single day. We're joined by our man, Brian Smith of the Portal Podcast, who has become a big part of our show. We appreciate him joining us on today's episode, which is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Well, we're going to take an early look at the college football playoff as we are just a couple of days away from Alabama and Oklahoma starting the college football playoff, plus some of the other games going on this weekend and which matchups Indiana would want more. Plus, the Hoosiers have just racked up almost every award possible across college football, including the big one, the Heisman Trophy for Fernando Mendoza. We'll talk about that, what that means for recruiting and the playoff and things like that. But Brian, the college football landscape, the calendar and the portal and recruiting and NIL, it's completely off the rails. And your worry and my worry, and I think a lot of people's worry, is it simply can't be fixed. Is that true? Or is there a world where we could kind of get this thing honed in and back on track?
I don't think you can, quote unquote, fix it, maybe tweak it a little bit, but because of eligibility and the vast majority of schools starting and ending semesters at the same time, you need the portal to be between the two semester breaks. Like it is what it is. You only got one now. So that also adds more fuel to the fire. I'll get into that in a little bit, but if you end the semester, like most schools do early December, well, you got to have the portal somewhere around that time as well. Most kids don't go back to the 7th, 10th, something like that. And some schools, private schools like Notre Dame, doesn't go back to the 20th. It's anywhere in that range. Portal is going to be then make your decision. You've got time off. You're not in class, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
The one that's interesting and it's similar is the high school signing day. You could tweak this.
Yeah.
The coaches are screwed either way they go, because right now, like the championship weekend, you're preparing for a game if you're Indiana and Cignetti. And on Wednesday of that week, you have signing day.
Yeah.
But when are you going to put it? Because if you do it the week after, you got kids that you're trying to prepare for the play. Like no matter when you put it in December, it's an F. And you want it to be at the end of the year for the kids after they finish their high school football seasons. So I really don't know what you do with that either. So both of those are in really tough spots. I wish I had a better answer, but I've heard people say, oh, you got to fix this. Well, what's your solution?
Yeah.
It's got to be between the break. How do you put, you can't put the portal, especially in no way, shape or form during the season. Disaster.
Yeah.
Cannot do that.
But you're still a fan of the one portal window, right? That we have now come back down to rather than the winter portal window and the post-spring portal window?
I am for a couple reasons. Number one, this is the big one. I'm just going to say it out loud. It's the awkward part. If you're in the NIL space like I am, a lot of kids were going to schools, picking up a check, leaving that school in the spring. And it was all but intentional.
Caden Proctor from Bama to Iowa back to Bama is the perfect example.
There are many others, or some was even more distorted than that. But he just took a check and never played a game for the Hawks.
Yeah. Which is leading to lawsuits now, right? I mean, you're seeing schools and players. Yeah, you're seeing kids take money from people. Like it's broken. It's ridiculous.
That part gets into a really awkward area. This is my area of expertise, but there's no fixing this either. It's perception. Damon Wilson played at Georgia. He was an elite recruit. I knew him at Venice High School in Florida. Every school in the country wanted him. Georgia got him. They paid him more than Ohio State did, or he was going to Ohio State. Goes to Georgia, plays 2 years. Missouri comes calling, offers him more. He leaves. But he had signed a contract and gotten so much money, X amount of dollars or whatever from Georgia. They are now suing him. Well, Georgia is in as good a spot as anybody for recruiting. They can get away with it, and it's not an in-state kid. Like if that was an in-state player at a Parkview or something, this would be different because it's all politics. He's an out-of-state kid. But I knew somebody was eventually going to sue a player. Didn't know who it was going to be, but it's Kirby in Georgia. That, they're a monster in this sport. And it's because he took money and didn't finish out his contract. Well, I can guarantee you there's going to be some NIL people. There's going to be some 7-on-7 teams, et cetera, that don't like that. Georgia thinks they can handle it. Certain schools can't. That's how this works. The leverage is 100% with the players here. And that's why, again, I go back to one portal. You have less chances to see that stuff happen. Because, like, if it happens after spring, you have no way to fix it because you can't even have practices to get the next guy. Like, okay, kid, you didn't get any of the number one reps, but you're going to play defensive end. Our second game's against Alabama. Good luck against their offensive. You know what I mean? Like, so not having the spring portal window is probably a good thing for most schools.
Yeah, and we're concerned that it can't be fixed in a broken system, but you're also telling me you're concerned for Indiana in this foregoing situation. If we keep going down the path we're going and nothing changes, you're concerned about Indiana, who is the number one seed in the college football playoff with the Heisman Trophy winner and Curt Cignetti at head coach. Why?
Well, there are a couple of reasons there too. Indiana has figured out the system better than anybody. They're the only school that has a legit chance to win it that is not a tradition-rich recruit the elite kids program. Everybody else recruited a pretty good number of high school kids that are playing. Even Tech recruited more than Indiana that were key. And then they just, like, they bought their defensive line. Okay, I get it. That D-line's great. They're the closest thing to Indiana. But, like, name 3 guys on Indiana's roster that were 5 stars. Name 1. None. They don't have any.
0.
So they've overcoached. So everybody's going to start trying to poach them while they're coaching them. There are going to be some distracted kids. There are going to be a lot of distracted. I guarantee you there are some inboxes with kids, and I don't know if the IU coaches know. I don't talk to the IU staff, but I guarantee you that's part of it. And there's nothing you can do about it because, kind of like with a lot of other things, the NCAA is absolutely, unequivocally toothless. They will not penalize anybody, and everybody cheats. And I mean everybody cheats. But Indiana, that's low-hanging fruit because you know they're good. I mean, it's on film.
Yeah.
So some kid that Indiana got for $300K, that's third team all Big Ten. Hey, come over here and play. You can be first team in whatever league that another school's in. We'll double your pay or maybe triple your pay. It's like, and you're in the middle of a playoff run. That's a distraction if there ever was one. I mean, if you're the kid, I understand. I mean,
you got to look out for you. I get it, but that's scary, man. I mean, it really is for a team like Indiana, even in this short window of NIL and portal and the craziness of college football, even in that short span, Indiana's never been there before. People weren't calling kids at Indiana to say, hey, come play for us once in a blue moon, sure. But now you're part of the number one team in the country. Absolutely. And you're being developed too under guys like Shanahan and Bryant Haynes. I mean, yeah, of course. People want what's going on at Indiana. So it's about defending the roster, retaining your roster. And unfortunately, in today's game, Brian, it's about paying your roster as well. But if you can, I still believe at my core, if you can still guarantee wins and development to get guys to the league, I think that'll pay off in the long run. I don't know. It may or may not. But I think that still carries weight in some circles. Do you agree with that before we move on from this subject? Do you think those things will carry on in the long term?
I do. Winnings never goes out of style, and you got to pay your roster. If you do well, like you didn't pay a guy a super high amount, and then he goes out and balls for you, don't lowball him because not only will you lose him, his buddies on the roster are going to be mad that you didn't pay him too.
Yeah.
This is all politics. It's awkward, but I get it. If the guy does well for you, you got to compensate him for what he has done. To that end, like they just paid Haynes and they've Shanahan, et cetera. That's the other end of this. They're going to have coaches that are getting phone calls or agent calling them, hey, would you be interested in? Hey, would you be NFL is going to be calling soon, et cetera. Like Indiana is going to be in the playoff if they go to the second, third round, and the portal is going to be about done. And there's going to be an NFL coach that wants to interview Haynes or something like that. Another distraction. Like there's no way to fix it, but I get it. Like Shanahan and Haynes are going to get phone calls from both levels. 100%. How do you fix that? Is it possible? No. Playoffs going on.
Yeah.
You think the NFL coaches care? No.
Heck no. No. Or the college coaches outside of the playoff calling kids and their agents, they don't care either. They'd be more than happy to take that second string nickel off your hands. Like, they'd love to do that. Absolutely. So Indiana's got to find a way to protect its roster, including guys who have been racking up awards. And while a lot of these won't be here next year, Indiana has brought home the hardware. We talk about that and how it impacts the season, or maybe it doesn't at all, right after this on Locked On Hoosiers. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. For all my people out there who live bet the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football against the Steelers, I'm sorry, you did not do well. That game was horrible. But if you live bet the Steelers before or right after they scored and you just stuck with it, then you probably came out on top. And that's how FanDuel works. You can do it for Thursday Night Football. Apparently, we have Saturday football this week in the NFL. It's all sorts of craziness, but all of that can be done at FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. All right, welcome back into Locked On Hoosiers. I'm Jacob Goins. He is our man Brian Smith from the Portal Podcast. Be sure you check him out. Same way you find our show, you can find his show as well. And Brian, I know you've noticed it. I know you've seen it. Indiana has been racking up in the award season. Yes, the obvious. Fernando Mendoza is your Heisman Trophy winner, but all sorts of other awards as well, which we'll get to in a moment. But your thoughts on Fernando bringing home the Heisman Trophy? Got to walk through downtown New York with it on his shoulder, brought it back to Bloomington. His team flew to see him in New York City. I mean, Brian, it doesn't get any better than that for the Indiana quarterback winning the Heisman Trophy, huh? Oh, you're muted, Brian.
Yeah,
there we go.
I don't think that it's a surprise that he won with the way he started, but man, like for it to finish that way, to be clutch against Ohio State, that's out of a storybook ending.
Yeah.
And to be really honest with you, like I covered him when he was in high school at the Elite 11. He was just one of the guys in an event. He wasn't expected to be like top. He's come so far. It's amazing. And he's always been the most humble guy, and he hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm. That's
one of the reasons I like him so much. And like the way he communicated after the Ohio State game and all that, it's why the guys went out to see him.
Yeah.
So good for Fernando. His dad's a great guy, all that stuff. Like, I'm curious to see what he does in the playoffs, because he's just nails when the chips are down, he earns it. That's why he won the Heisman. Like, he made passes against Oregon. He made passes against Penn State, like that drive against Penn State.
Yeah.
Like anytime they were not playing well, he's the one that dug them out of the hole. Not that he didn't have help, obviously. You know, they've receivers, tight ends, everybody's been good for the Hoosiers. But good night. It's amazing what he's done. So I think it's awesome, and I think it's cool the team went out to see him.
Yeah, that was really neat. And again, his comments before winning the Heisman about, if I do win it, I want to bring it back to Bloomington. I want it to be there. It's Indiana's award, not mine. That was cool. So many people loved his speech too at the Heisman ceremony, which those have been highlights for years for different guys who have won it. But yeah, so he brings home the Heisman Trophy. Curt Cignetti is the coach of the year in pretty much any sort of award that is given out. You've got the Dave McClain Award, which is voted on by the media. CBS and PFF gave him Coach of the Year. He won Coach of the Year from Walter Camp. I mean, he literally has won every single Coach of the Year award, and it has to be warranted, right? I mean, he has earned it. Even though last year was so historical, Brian, Curt Cignetti doubled down and did it even better this year.
I think that's one of the reasons he won this year. Like, nobody thought that they could really top what they did last season. And then they did.
And then they did.
So, I mean, I saw him in an interview the other day. He just said, it's just fundamentals. Well, everybody says that. Well, your fundamentals are working better than everybody else's. So
yeah,
the kids are taking their craft to another level under your tutelage and staff, not just Coach Sig, but he's earned those awards. Like, who would you pick over him? Like, who would even be in contention for the number 2? There's other good coaches, but like, I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Day, but
I mean, look, his roster is still the best in college football. I'm not giving it to Ryan.
Texas, I mean, I
You
don't
can
know.
give it to McGuire, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
at
interesting.
Tech. Yeah, I think that would be warranted. But yeah, and which that's not fair to say that Ryan Day and Kirby Smart have the best rosters in the country every year, but they do, right? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I think it was a no-brainer for Curt Cignetti. And then all these other guys, I mean, you've got 5 or 6 guys on offense who are first, second, third, all team Big Ten. You've got 5, 6, 7 guys on the defensive side who are all Big Ten, all Americans like Aiden Fisher. I mean, it just goes to show, Brian, that you talk about it all the time with this Indiana program. They've just learned how to get talent and develop talent. And so I want to toss it to you from the recruiting side of things. Do people take notice of this? Do recruits care that there's all Americans on this football team, that a quarterback at Indiana just won the Heisman Trophy for the first time ever? Do recruits notice those types of things?
100%. And I think they also noticed that Indiana's paying their assistants massive amounts of money. And I'm sure they're letting recruits know that, hey, we're trying to keep this train rolling for as long as possible. All of it matters. And they're constantly going across the screen to Fox, CBS, ESPN, ABC.
Yep.
And then just, Instagram, TikTok, everything you can imagine, YouTube Shorts, and of course, X. Cignetti's everywhere. The only people that don't like him, besides those in West Lafayette, are those who don't like his brashness. And
yeah,
it doesn't make any difference. To score next year will be 56-3 again or whatever it was. So, that's just the way it is. They're just better. And by the way, they're in the running for a couple of really elite quarterbacks from the portal. We'll talk about that later. But the train's not going off the rails, is all.
Yeah. And one thing I did want to note, though, as fun as the awards are, and as fun as all the accolades and the recognition is in these next couple of weeks before Indiana's next game on New Year's Day in the Rose Bowl, you know how much that means in that Rose Bowl? 0. And do you think anybody cares at Alabama or Oklahoma that Fernando Mendoza is the Heisman Trophy winner? No. Do you think that they care that you've got dudes on the defensive line and the linebacker unit and the secondary who are first and second team All-American? No. Do you think they care that Curt Cignetti is the coach of the year? Heck no. They respect it and they take notice of it, but that means nothing in the game. Good news, though, Brian, is if we've learned anything about this Indiana team, and I feel like I've said this so many times, but it's true, they won't use that as, I don't know, they won't let it go to their head, basically. They're not going to be arrogant. They're not going to be overconfident because, oh, I'm Fernando. I won the Heisman Trophy. Did anybody get that sense from him in New York City on Saturday night? I didn't. Has Curt Cignetti ever been a me guy? No. That's the good news. Some guys, it absolutely would go to their head. Some teams would let it impact them and have an overconfidence against an SEC team. Brian, I just don't see that. I don't see that happening no matter who Indiana plays coming up in the college football playoff, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I have so much faith in Indiana that I'm not worried about it.
I go along with your sentiment there. It's not a team that seems to care about the individual. It's holistic.
Yeah.
The way they celebrate, the way they communicate with each other, the way the entire team went to New York City, that's not normal. I mean, I've followed college football my whole life. I don't remember any story like that, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's happened and I'm unaware. But I think they will be very down to earth, go out to LA and play in that game against either Oklahoma or Bama, and I don't know which one's going to win. But they'll just play their game like they do any other day. It just happens to be in Los Angeles instead of Bloomington. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and Indiana should be proud of that. But speaking of Bama, speaking of Oklahoma, and all the other teams in the college football playoff, we'll get an early look, see what Brian thinks. We'll break down some of the matchups, including Bama and Oklahoma, because Indiana's going to play one of them, but which one will it be? We'll talk about that in our final segment right after this. This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. The holidays are here, and whether you're hosting family, planning the perfect gift, or just trying to keep things simple and delicious, Omaha Steaks is making it easier than ever. From effortless holiday entertaining to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience straight to your door. And what makes it even better? With Omaha Steaks, you always know exactly what you're gifting. USDA certified tender steaks, premium proteins, gourmet sides, and decadent desserts that make anyone feel appreciated. I've sent Omaha Steaks as gift for several years, and especially now with last minute Christmas shopping, it gets there fast and you know exactly what it's going to be. That's right up my alley. And so it could be a family member, coworker, friend, whatever the case may be. Omaha Steaks is the way to go. Save big on gourmet gifts and holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for an extra $35 off using code COLLEGE at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com using the promo code COLLEGE. All right, final segment here on this episode of Locked On Hoosiers with our man Brian Smith of the Portal Podcast. And the college football playoff is this week, Brian. Can you believe it? We've already made it. Game on Friday, 3 games on Saturday. Of the 4, which one are you looking forward to most this weekend?
Well, it's not the games with the G6 teams because those will be abject disasters.
Yeah, those are going to be bad. Are you doubling down on your take that Oregon wins by double the spread? Is that what it spreads 21?
I think they'll win by 30 or more.
That's so bad.
Oregon
respectfully, I hope you're wrong, but I don't think you're going to be.
Dan Lanning's the kind of guy that will cut your throat twice just to be sure. So if he gets up, he's not going to care. Dante's trying to get to the NFL as a quarterback. Like there's no, and they're getting guys back that are now healthy. It's not a good time to be part of the Dukes right now.
And going across the country to Eugene. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like that game. The other game, look, they already played this once. Tulane went to Ole Miss. It didn't go well, 45-10. Yeah. Why do I think that's going to be better when Tulane's head coach is gone? Oh, you say, Kiffin's gone. That may be true, but his quarterback's still there, and he is a dude. Trinidad Chambliss is a playground guy with a little bit of fit for that scheme, and they got guys trying to prove they can win now that Kiffin, like they've got a chip on their shoulder. It could be worse.
You think it could be worse? Everybody's saying it's going to be closer because Kiffin's gone.
They're going to be pissed off to the ends of the earth because of the Kiffin thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you worried about Summerall at all, trying to play both jobs? I mean, he's got a Florida hat on and a Tulane t-shirt.
That never goes well. I don't like it either. But if you're Florida, what are you going to do? It is what it is. The Oklahoma game, obviously, they're hosting Bama. That's the game for Indiana. I'm just going to make it very clear. I don't know which one's going to win, but I do know 2 things. Number one, both of the head coaches will lie on their mother's grave about the health of their quarterbacks, and they're both hurt. They are both 100% hurt, and they will both lie directly into the camera, into the microphone, avoid, and everything else. Whatever you do not bet on this game. Avoid it like the plague.
Ooh.
I know flat out they're both hurt, and they will lie, and lie. That's one. Number 2, if I'm Indiana, I would rather play Oklahoma because they're at least a little bit more one-dimensional. Their defense is just grotesque. It's incredible. Yeah. But their offense is darn near broken despite a lot of talent. And Satenga's the only guy on offense that catches the ball that I'm scared of. Got a couple good running backs, but they've got 2 freshman offensive tackles. I don't like that in the playoff. They're both really
especially
good
with Indiana's defensive line.
Well, I mean,
if they get there, obviously.
If they do, it's not just the D-line. It's more about the system, the way they blitz, the way they change looks. Mm-hmm. That's not going to go well.
Yeah.
Alabama, I think, is a broken team in some ways because they don't even try to run the ball, but they have playmakers outside. They could throw for 400 and find a way to win if you turn the ball over a couple times. It's possible. I don't think Oklahoma can score 20 points against Indiana unless Indiana turns the ball over. They get a scoop and score. I don't think they can score 20. Their offense stinks. It's just my opinion. Now, for that other game, the Miami A&M game, I think is the best of the 4. It'll be an interesting game, and it'll come down to this. Miami plays a lot of zone, and Marcel Reed can't read a defense to save his life sometimes against zone. If you don't believe me, watch the first half of the South Carolina game. They scored 3. What do you have? 3 turnovers? Something
was
like
that the game they were down like 28-3 or
31-3
or something?
And won. Like he is an absolute roller coaster. I do not trust Marcel Reed. Not that Carson Beck is Mr. Perfect, but he's got more experience because he was the Georgia guy. I'm going with Miami just because I trust him more. And that's not saying a lot, but still, it's a heck of a lot more than Reed, who's just a roller coaster. But if the receivers get going and he figures it out, they got more talent probably, but not by a lot. I think both those teams are physical. got veteran quarterbacks, all that stuff. It ought to be a really good game.
Yeah, winner of Miami, Texas A&M gets Ohio State. Winner of Alabama and Oklahoma gets Indiana. Winner of James Madison and Oregon. So Oregon gets Texas Tech. And then the final game that is slipping my mind for whatever. Oh, Tulane Ole Miss. The winner of that gets Georgia. So you could have another rematch between Georgia Ole Miss from the SEC if the Rebels were to win. But for Indiana, all eyes will be Friday night in Norman as Alabama returns to Oklahoma for what should be a good game. And of course, Indiana will get the winner of that in the Rose Bowl. He is Brian Smith of the Portal Podcast. I'm Jacob Goins of Locked On Hoosiers. Make sure you subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, follow us on social media, and keep up with us on your audio platforms as well. We're back for another episode tomorrow. So until then, stay safe and we'll talk to you later.